Hey there, welcome to Supersize Your Business No Nonsense November tip and tool of the day number 24. Today we're talking about one of the lessons learned that I did learn the hard way. I always learned these lessons the hard way, unfortunately. But once I learned them, once they actually sunk into my soul and I adopted them, they made my life so much simpler, both personally and professionally. Now, today's topic applies to both and all aspects of us, right? It's the topic of understanding personal boundaries and setting personal boundaries. Now, this applies to our businesses, and I always found it easier to set business boundaries and expectations than personal ones. Why? Because, like so many others that want to help and make the world a better place, I want to give, 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 give. And sometimes I give all the way up to the limit of my capacity. And then I'm like, okay, overextended, stressed out, burnt out. Yikes. What's going to happen now? And then we have to take a step back and readjust. But if we set personal boundaries and what we will, and to me, there's our personal boundaries and then there's our limits. Our personal boundaries, we want to intentionally set and create and communicate to other people so they know how to treat us, what to expect from us. And so we know how to treat ourselves and what to expect from ourselves. But if we don't do that, people will push us to our limits, and our limits are usually our breaking point. And do we want to break in business and in life? Heck no. So let's figure out some ways to set some boundaries and to understand other people's boundaries and honor those. For me, boundaries are expectations and expectation sharing. This is what you can expect from me. This is what I expect from you. Do we agree? I gave an example in the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group talking about the same topic today about work boundaries and expectations. If you've ever had a boss that just delegates and keeps piling on the work and piling on the work and piling on the work without prioritizing or letting you know that what's expected in return for piling on all the work, you can get resentful. And setting boundaries is all about identifying what are the situations where I'm feeling used and abused, put upon, resentful, upset in any way, shape, or form. And what are the situations that are causing me to feel that way? What's triggering that? And then how can I set a boundary that isn't at my limit to honor both myself and my self-worth and what I contribute to the organization, and to still get the work done, get what we need to get done, but in a way that kind of respects and honors everybody's capability and actually builds on the things that we're strong and great at and minimizes the things that number one, we don't like to do or we just plain stink at. Because guess what? There's a lot of things we all just plain stink at. So there's a tool called the Boundary Setting Workbook. You can get it at Walmart for like 10, 11 bucks. And it walks you through how to set boundaries. So if you've never set boundaries, or if you're struggling with that, if you find yourself resentful and working at your limit all the time, pick up a copy of that and use it to learn how to creatively and correctly for you set boundaries. You know, boundaries can be flexible. To me, our boundaries here, and it's flexible. Our limit is the line in the sand that we don't want to go over, right? Unless it's our comfort zone, then we want to blow that out of the water. So we just find areas where we're resentful, analyze the situation, and then say, well, what boundary is missing or not clearly communicated? Because a lot of times it's we know what our boundary is, we just haven't communicated it to other people. And if we can't and haven't communicated it, we can't be upset with the other people that are pushing on our boundary, because we're all trying to get more done all the time. And if we can get other people to help us do that, we love that, right? But it also has to work for both parties, or it causes long-term resentment, destroys relationships, in the whole 9 yards. Taylor's stories and guide to the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group, if you want to check that out, how she used the workbook, and she used it with her career to make sure that she was giving her best, but also honoring who she is as a human being, and being clear about what she is capable of and what she can handle with respect to her job and taking on more work. She learned that boundaries are a mirror of our self-worth. If you're one of those people, and I used to be, that doesn't want to set boundaries and is nervous about setting boundaries because people are going to push back, and guess what? Other human beings are going to push back. If you say no to your boss, I can't take on any more work, they're going to push back. But you can push back again and say, hey, we either need to reprioritize these things so I can fit that in, or I can't do it. I can't take on more and I don't want to overcommit and then under deliver. That always works, by the way. If you always communicate that your intention is to meet expectations, but you don't want to overcommit, because one of the worst things that happen to businesses is they overcommit or they commit to things that they aren't even technologically capable of doing, and then they disappoint customers. Talk about a recipe for failure. All right. Love to know how you set boundaries. Do you set boundaries and expectations for your business? Have you set boundaries and expectations for your personal life? Share one lesson learned in the comments below so we can learn from one another. And I will be with you tomorrow with another No Nonsense November tip and tool of the day. Have a great day.